Hazel. I'm Lena Girl, and my guest today has created some of the catchiest island music tunes in the last decade, all fueled by his life experiences. How did this windward hometown boy become a global phenom? Well, we're going to find out when we sit with Roman de Peralta of Kolohe right here on The Artist Spotlight. Welcome to our Kanileʻa Ukulele Sound Studio right here for the Artist Spotlight. Get a chance to talk story with Roman de Peralta of Kolohe. Hi, brother.
Hi, how's it?
I'm so happy to have you here joining me as we are celebrating our 25th anniversary.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank you
for having me.
Oh, brother, it has been a whirlwind, right?
Yeah. To say the least.
But let's go ahead and start back in the... I always love to go to the genesis of an artist because I think, and I truly do believe this, that the music that you write as a songwriter, you're a guitar player, you're an ukulele player, you get I see you dance.
Oh, I can't dance to save my life. Maybe surf, but no can dance, but thank you.
But and I see you rock crowds and stuff like that, but it's your lyrics. It's your tune, everything. It's so much wonderful musical hooks and lyrical hooks that you create when you're writing your music. So I like to go back to the genesis of an artist and ask where that starts. Where did the music begin for Roman?
Oh man, I mean, we had so much good artists to listen to growing up as kids. I mean, you talk about Kolomona and you talk about that generation, you talk about Ekolu, that generation, you talk about all the different amazing artists that we got to cover as little intermediate school kids with our ukuleles. And I feel like listening to that mana growing up, in the 90s and early 2000s, just being surrounded by no technology, no phones, just listening to our dads jam in the backyard to CNK. And I think just listening to that growing up really helped, pave the way for all of us at this, age to, to kind of write stuff that, we kind of got good vibes from, listening to the radio. And so I really want to give credit to that. Of course, I feel like the ocean is the number one inspiration for me as a writer. And I feel like the fluidity of listening to waves and the soft crashing sounds of that helped me to kind of find some hooks that might have a little mimic of that, But all in all, I mean, living in Hawaii, you can't complain about what kind of beauty we're surrounded with musically, physically, and of course the aloha spirit.
Yes. And your songwriting begins in high school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Castle High School, which is, for those that are everywhere around the world, Castle High School is literally our hometown high school right here in Kaneohe, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Who were some of your inspiring instructors that helped you put pen to paper?
Oh man, I mean, when I first started writing, I was in Mrs. Cohn's music class. So she was the OG music teacher at Castle High School.
What does it mean, Mrs. Cohn, to be here? This is your first concert. You tell me your reaction to seeing Roman kill it on stage.
I'm just so proud of him. I'm proud of him. I remember when you sang your first song when you were 14, 15 years old. And I remember the time that he sang in the practice room and there was over 100 students in the class and security said, "What's going on here?" And I said, "They're singing."
I want to thank Miss Cohn for everything she did for us. I mean, what we've gotten to do over the past, 12 years, but you've inspired so much of us.
And I would go in there, and I moved from Kapolei to Kaneohe, so I never really had that much friends. It was my first time in Kaneohe, and I would be by myself in that class until we started the band and stuff. But anyway, Mrs. Cohn, just the type of aloha she gave to me, showing me, always teaching me something about humility, always. She just, I feel like her encouragement about hey, that's such an awesome song. I wrote Kiss I Never Had for Brown Bags to Stardom, and I'd bring it to Auntie and I'd sing it. And of course, her enthusiasm and praise, coupled with the counsel to not let it get to our heads, was just everything we needed. She was like another mom to us, and to me especially. And so, yeah, Mrs. Cohn, I'm going to give full credit to her. Thank you. I love you. And if it wasn't for her encouragement, and of course my dad and my mom, my dad taught me how to play guitar when I was a young boy. And if it wasn't for his musical, teaching me chords before he'd go to work, and encouraging me, and then my mom I'm an only child, so my mom and dad really helped pave just an encouraging roadway for me to believe in myself. And I feel like as a songwriter, I'd come home or I'd be up late and I wrote Dream Girl when I was like 15, 16, and I'd wake up, my mom, listen to this. All through my days at school, and she's like, I think that's gonna be a good song, Roman. So anyway, I feel like the praise was a really good thing for me as a kid, and I'm
encouraging.
Yes, and of course Opihi Pickers. When I was 15, 16, I got signed to a record label, and Opihi Pickers they were the thing at the moment, and of course they still are legends. And I was just Imua Garza.
The Garza brothers. Kahale Morales.
Yes, Kahale is our bass player now. And you look at and the drummer for Opihi Pickers, Luke, has been our drummer for 14 years. So but at that moment, during that time in our lives in high school, I looked up to Imua so much, and as a songwriter and as a frontman, and so him being the producer that kind of laid out the originals was just beyond undeserving, in my opinion.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm very grateful.
Oh yeah. How would you describe your music? I mean, if you were speaking with somebody who has never heard our local music before, how would you describe Kolohe Kai's island music style?
Man, I think island reggae music is a very it's a genre of its own. You got your ukulele, and it's got the reggae skank, and the chuck, and so it's like Bob Marley's Happy Little Nephews from Hawaii. You know what I mean? It's like if you were to put like reggae music and then put that guitar
and
instead. Put the electric guitar chuck that was in Bob's hands into an ukulele and into the hands of a boy who's at the beach. I feel like island reggae music just incorporates this love for reggae music and love for island lifestyle that just, it has that chalang-kalang vibe that is what we grew up with, and it's something that, like, the ukulele is the focal point of island reggae music.
Absolutely.
And that's why Kanileʻa, let's go.
I do believe that. I believe that even before I started working here, you have to have that ukulele sound.
You do.
That's how you call it island music. That's how you call it island reggae, right?
What is the most mobile instrument you can take on the road that you can not be scared for get sand inside the
jump on your bike?
Exactly. Boom. I would be on my riding red dirt on the red dirt roads in Kauai. Like, for This Is the Life, you listen to those lyrics. I'm on my bike, and I got my ukulele, and I'm trying to steer through the potholes while jamming at the same time. You can't do that with a guitar, anybody. You gotta do it with a ukulele. But Kanileʻa ukuleles is really nice, so make sure you don't drop them, okay? Because I've done that.
Yes, you have. Oh boy! But we have scars.
Yes,
right?
we do.
And
we do.
And I know that a lot of your music, of course, coming up out of high school, you live in life, and mom, dad, Mrs. Cone, all encouraging you. So a lot of the music is happy, right? It's happy. It's going beach, love it, cool down, boom. You know what I mean?
Right.
But sometimes we hit potholes in our lives, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not sure if you're comfortable with sharing.
100%.
Yeah. But because I think that fuels some of the music that came out as you started to mature. Would you be willing to share?
Of course. In 2016, I had a really bad car accident. And that, shut me down because I had chronic back pain, and I still have it for 7 years now. But when that happened at 23, 24 years old, at the prime time when I want to play basketball every week, I want to play volleyball every week, I want to surf every week, I couldn't. And I had to and that physical stop made me really depressed. And I hit this point in like this weird spot in my life where energetic, hyper, crazy Kolohe Roman would now be stuck, having to go to PT and I did over like 300 something plus appointments trying to help relieve this chronic pain, and it never went away. And I feel like when you are told you can't surf, and it's like months and months and months go by, you don't realize like it's like not being able to breathe, and I think that was a time in my life that I wanted to not live anymore. It was weird. It's like, man, it's just, it's weird. You don't realize that chapter is gonna come, but when it happens, it's like, man, this is I'm really depressed. And I'm an only child. I'm telling my mom and dad that I don't want to be around anymore. And that was really tough.
To hear,
oh yeah, right? It was heartbreaking, And And after I got through that time, which I never thought I would, because it took some time, it took some years for me to get through that. I wrote Round and Round, which is something that I didn't expect, because I went to counseling like 2 to 3 times a week, trying to get my mind straight, you know, talking to psychiatrists and psychologists, trying to just help me to find a little bit more like hope towards myself, you know. And of course I had a lot of faith from my Bible upbringing and stuff to encourage me, but when you're in that situation, you kind of need all cylinders to fire. Everything. And your brain is so sensitive, you know, and you don't realize when you don't do things that keep your endorphins going, you can get depressed. And so I went through this depression, and my mom told me, son, if you can get through this time, you're gonna be able to get through anything. And if you just survive today, you can realize tomorrow is gonna be brighter than you ever imagined, you know. And so she would tell me that. And during that same time, my uncle had gotten paralyzed from his neck down because he fell out of his bed, and he had a bad dream. He fell out of his bed, cracked his neck, and he was paralyzed. And he told me, he's like, "Hey boy, how you doing?" He asking me how I doing. And I'm looking at him in his bed. He cannot even scratch his head, and he's asking me to scratch his forehead. And I'm in all this pain. And I'm scratching his forehead. And he's asking me how I'm doing. And I'm like, "Oh, Uncle, I'm doing okay. A little bit sore right now because of the accident." But he goes, "You know, boy, I wish I could feel sore right now." He goes, I cannot feel nothing. I can't even scratch my head. You know how hard that is, you know?" He's like, "So I'm grateful to be alive." He goes, "I could be dead right now. And I'm grateful for every moment that I'm still breathing." And when he said that to me, those words rang so hard that when I went to Costa Rica and visit some friends, we're sitting around a bonfire, and my friends are talking about putting our problems in a bag. And if we could just trade, wouldn't we want our problems back? Because we never realized the guy who hid his problems was worse, right? And I thought of Uncle Stanley, my uncle, Kahale, Waihole brought on my uncle. And I wrote Round and Round. And that was my favorite song I think I ever wrote in my life. And I feel like to this day, I need and I feel like everybody needs to just remember that our problems are temporary, you know. It feels so real in the moment. So if anybody's listening out there and has felt that way, and maybe is going through something you feel like you can't overcome, if you just wait and you endure, you know, you're gonna triumph, and something gonna happen where you're gonna be so happy you're around for the next sunrise, you know. So
absolutely. And it came up in your music. Yeah. The joy, the pain, the rough times, the good times, that all comes up in your music.
Yeah. And so I feel like that was the most ventilating thing for me as a songwriter. I had a ukulele with me out there, and I'm strumming these chords, and I feel like being able to express that deep. It took a long time though. It took about 1.5 years for me to really write that track, you know, with a clear head. And so, yeah, I feel like now, and I wrote I Think You're Beautiful is a song that I wrote to help encourage people who are not feeling good about themselves, or, you know, to discourage anti-bullying. I feel like after Round and Round happened, I couldn't believe the response, like the amount of schools that used it as a graduation song because of its message. So because of that, I didn't realize how much of it, because Cool Down, Ehu Girl, love songs, puppy love, you know, surf, This Is the Life. You don't realize the impact of any of those songs because it's just puppy love. But when Round and Round hits and you're being told by somebody that it helped them not walk off the edge, that changed me as a writer forever, because then it made me want to write songs that were going to do more of this.
More good things.
Yeah. So this next coming album that's showing up, I have a song called I Wanna Live. And I haven't actually publicly said it out loud yet to really anybody, so this is the first you'll hear it. But
this is an exclusive?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the first time I'm really talking about it, like, in front of people. But I Wanna Live is a song that I wrote about not giving up on your life. So it's like Round and Round, but a little bit more heavier. So, you know, if Iam wants to sing it with me, hey, cuz, hey.
Oh, wait. Ian is already singing your songs.
I know. Anyway, I know you already used to, you know, but anyway, got a lot of positive music coming out.
Oh, I'm excited about that. And you know, let's go ahead and talk about Iam, right? For many who may not have seen, American Idol just wrapped up its latest season, and a boy who originally hails from Hawaii, priced out of paradise. Right. You know, he had to move with his family because living in Hawaii can be tough. Yeah. His name is Iam Tongi, and he took the top spot. And he took the top spot in the finale singing your song that you wrote, what was that, 13, 14 years ago?
I wrote it when he was 4 years old. So yeah, it would have been 14 years old. 14 years ago. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Holy moly! Brother, you go! Kill it, brother! What?
And I got to tell you, and please, I hope you're not offended by hearing this, but when a competitor gets to that point, right, when they're at the top 3 in American Idol, they're oftentimes going to pull a song that is internationally known, that is done by somebody who's super famous because they want the votes. They want people to recognize the song they sing.
Yeah.
Not that Cool Down is not recognizable because I know every word to that song. I 100%
agree with you. So now you're not offending me at all. No.
Brother,
I felt like Brother should sing a song that the masses would know. And when I found out he might want to sing the song, I wanted to tell him, hey, cuz, I appreciate the compliment, but I also want you to win. So maybe choosing one song that everybody might know, like an Elvis one or, like a John Legend song, whatever. Like, I felt that way. And the fact that he's like, I didn't know, like it was one of 5 songs he wanted for singing. When I gave permission to American Idol, said, hey, you guys he can use them, guarantee if he wants to. They say, hey, we'll let you know. I never know. They never tell me until that very moment it happened on TV. And I'm like, he chose to go for it. And so, yeah, I agree. I feel like
I cried. I had to tell you honestly, I cried. At that moment, even though he had not yet been chosen as the American Idol, even if he had taken second place, I cried. And I cried because...
he went with his roots.
You know, I mean, it's one thing to go and be amazing by yourself. But that guy turned around and he went like this, come.
Yeah.
Come with me. He turned around, he put his hand back out and he said, come with me. I'm taking the local artists, I'm taking the Hawaii-inspired artists that I love to that big stage if I can. Spawn Breezy, you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he did Stuck on You, but he did Ekolu's version of Stuck on You.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And these are local artists that I know and love, and he's taking them with him to this big, massive stage. Nobody really knows who they are in Kansas or
I agree.
in Connecticut.
I agree.
But they fell in love with him too.
I know. The fact that he went with his roots and he wanted to be true to himself, I feel like that speaks so much volumes about what kind of brother he is. Yes. Because he wasn't afraid of, like, I was thinking like, hey, if maybe somebody in his management advising team would be saying, hey, you know what, maybe at this point, at the last day for win, maybe you should try for just go with something that maybe everybody knows. And the fact that he stuck with something that maybe he loved singing as a kid or whatever, I just feel so honored and feel so grateful, and I just feel so complimented, and I just wanted to tell Brada, thank you so much, because you never have to do that. But because he did that, I feel like he grasped the hearts of so many people, because they're like, oh, this guy's real. You know what I mean? He's real to who he wants to be, and mahalos for representing our islands and our people and our culture. And
just like you real.
Oh, thank you.
I have one more thing to ask you, because I know you went through some tough times. And I know that we had just this incredible high with Iam. Yeah. But in between the tough times and Iam, somebody was pulling on your heartstrings.
Oh, yeah. My wife.
Yes.
So I just got married. And, came out with the Hazel Eyes album. And, COVID was an interesting time. COVID kind of like presented a lot of beautiful opportunities to sit home and get, grounded in all different ways. And that's where, we got our relationship to be pa'a. And then, of course, the reopening of everything starting up again and music and stuff. It's like, it's still a challenge trying to balance marriage and music and all that. So I'm learning. I'm trying to figure this out as I go, So, but yeah, definitely, a lot of happy times. A lot of very happy times. And
Mrs. De Peralta is a huge supporter of your music.
Yeah, she is.
I know that you do.
She comes and jams with me on stage when we need harmonies and Jazzy can't make it, or we travel the world together a lot, and it's just, I'm so grateful to have a partner that's next to me that supports me like the way she does.
Oh yeah, what an incredible support.
Love you, baby.
We love you, baby. Brother, I know that you have so much great projects. I love the fact that you're that kind of songwriter that you see something and you putting pen to paper. You're constantly writing. And I got word that you got new stuff coming out. I'm excited.
Yeah. We have a lot of stuff coming out. It's really fun. We just released a song called Hope. It's out now on all digital platforms. It's a song I wrote because during the time of COVID, we were seeing a lot of things happening, in the world that we didn't like, and it made us discouraged, and we wanted to have a little bit more of a hopeful future. So the new song is out. It's got a real cool little roots vibe on the verses, kind of a paradise chorus kind of action, and just hopefully people are enjoying it. It's out now, and then we got I've been writing a lot too, so we're trying to plan the next album, and it's coming, and this one is going to be really like embracing a lot of the round and round messages and stuff too, so that's cool. And then we got our shows coming up at the Shell and Maui, and at the Maui Arts and Culture Center, so that's cool. We're going to be
bringing it back to the Shell.
Yeah, we're bringing it to Shell. And Modest Yahoo is going to be jamming with us for those 2 shows. And that's we're so excited. So for all you Hawaii people, of course we couldn't fit Kauai and Big Island, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, I love you guys. We will one day soon. But Maui and Waikiki Shell in Oahu will be jamming, and we revamped the whole set. So guys, if you guys came to a past show, it's not going to be close to what it was before. So
I love it.
We really are. Imua, as a producer, we're trying. We're going to add a little bit more bells and whistles. So come on down and bring the chihus. Let's go.
And where can they get tickets or find out information?
Yeah, if you guys want to follow on all the social media platforms, just to keep up to date with the new music that's coming out, you guys can follow at Kolohe Kai Music on Instagram, and then on Facebook, Kolohe Kai Official. But the website you can get the tickets at. So if you guys want to go grab tickets, go check out KoloheKaiMusic.com. And of course, we're going on tour to the West Coast, and we're so stoked to have J Boog jumping with us on Irvine and San Diego. So if you guys are in the West Coast, we got Seattle, all the way down to San Diego. We'll be having Mike Love with us for the other shows, the whole thing, and it's going to be an amazing tour. So anyway, thank you, fans, and if you guys can support, mahalos.
Brother, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do have a couple of questions to ask you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so sing or surf? If you could only do one of these things, only one, for the rest of your life and cannot do the other,
oh man,
sing
well,
or surf?
If I don't sing, I don't eat. You know what I mean? I gotta eat, right? I gotta eat. But I mean, if it wasn't regarding like a job or anything, like like you take away like having to support myself.
Yeah. No, with everything, everything in your life is fine. Everything you're all taken care of.
Right.
Or you can only sing, or you can only surf. This is rough because this is where he gets a lot of his inspiration is from being in the ocean.
Yeah.
So sing or surf.
I would have to 100% say sing, because I feel like I could sing in the water without surfing. I can't.
He's finding the loophole.
No. But just being able to, I guess, express yourself, like I feel like singing and creating is some of the most healthy things that you can do, because it helps you. And not only singing, but just being able to sing songs that I need to get the lyrics out. Yes. In order to kind of like visualize what's in my heart, So I feel like that's something that I can express myself to myself, in a way that surfing no can, So, but I love surf. I would never quit surfing. But anyway, that's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that.
Because that's a rough one.
Yeah.
All right, then really quick, drop one acapella on me. Any of your favorite Kolohe Kai songs?
Oh man, okay. My favorite, Round and Round. We got to go, it's time to grow. Through obstacles, round and around we go. Don't even worry about it, don't get so downhearted. Life is sunny and cloudy, round and around we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roman de Peralta of Kolohe Kai.
Thank you for having me.
We got to go, it's time to grow. Through obstacles, round and around. Don't even worry, don't worry about it.